Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited to be able to introduce Ms. Tara Truax to us. She obviously is one of our amazing advisory council members, one of my dear friends and personal mentors as well. And I'm just excited for her to share. I know this is a busy time of the year, busy time of the month with it being the end of school for many, many people. And so I really appreciate her taking her time out, and for all of you being on as well and taking your time too. But she is just, y'all know, she's a powerhouse. She's amazing. She pours into us. She builds us up. She makes us, look at ourselves in the mirror and tell us some hard truths. And I do remember, gonna be completely honest, the first few times talking to her, some of the things, and sometimes still some of the things sting, but it's because it's the truth and it's things that I need to know and need to hear. And sometimes we don't want to hear it, right? When we hear different things that people are telling us that are true, the reason most of the time that it hurts is because it is true and we know it and it's hard for us to hear. And she's my person who does that. So anytime that I need just the truth to me, she's my girl. But she's absolutely amazing. She's an Emerald ambassador here, like I said, on the advisory council. So she is that right-hand man, or, the voice for the field to Mark and to Jake. She's a mama of 3 and just absolutely phenomenal, and here to help all of us. Anytime that we need anything, y'all, reach out to us. Tara is a super, super busy individual, but she will make time. So tonight she is going to share and talk to us more about our team and reaching down into our team, and being able to help those newest people win, and also being able to taproot into those people to help with growing your network. So Tara, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you for that introduction, you guys. Thank you for having me on. I want to be timely because I actually have another call right after this, and want to make sure I get everything in for you guys. And I want to start it out like this. Your number one responsibility in business is to show up for your newest person. That newest person has trusted you to be the person that's going to take them where they want to grow to. In that, they've trusted you to teach them simple systems. Please write that down, because these are the words you should be using when you're bringing people on, that duplicate through consistency over time. If you use those words when you bring people on, you're actually setting yourself up for success, because I want you to think of it like driving a car. When you first learn to drive a car, it's completely overwhelming. You're super nervous. So you have to learn all the things. You've got all the cars coming. You don't know which way to go, all the things. And over time, those skills get stronger and you become a better driver. And now some of you have been driving so long, you don't even know you're driving. You get in the car and it's like autopilot, because it's simple systems that duplicate over time. They become the solid foundation of your business. That solid foundation of your business means that when someone trusts you to go into business with them, they actually trusted you to do business with. Business is an exchange, which means they're expecting to learn those skills so that they can get a weekly paycheck. When you bring somebody into this business, if you bring in 3 new starts and none of them hit rank within their time frame, you can actually expect your new start. So if I pull my new start report for my entire organization and I have 30 people that came in that month and only 10 hit rank, the other 20, if I cut that in half, is the determining factor of how many new starts are going to come into my organization next month. So I just had 30, I take 20, cut it in half. That's how many new starts are going to come in, 10. I just cut my new starts in a third by not getting my new people paid. That's the actual statistic in Q Sciences right now, just so you know. My business manager pulled it today. So if you're not getting people at least to builder and getting them a paycheck, you're cutting the growth of your business, because a new person coming in that doesn't get paid most likely isn't getting into the system. They most likely aren't going to continue with their auto ship on, et cetera. Now, also, if you don't have an auto ship on for your new people, you're actually not setting them up for success. And you really want to make sure that everybody that comes into your business has the 5 keys for success ready, that their auto ship is on, they're working them through Builder Pro Executive, they're properly launched, you're teaching the proper screening process, which we're going to really get into in a second, about classifying people as a customer or as a business partner, and then from there, identifying leaders. Those are the 5 keys to keeping your business consistent. Now, what I was just talking to, and this is why I was a second late because my phone died because I was talking to Stephen about this, is helping people not just get to executive, but by keeping it even more simple and getting them builder. And the reason we want to get people builder is we can meet people where they're at. A new person may feel more comfortable getting customers, and that's great. But when we qualify our people and decide if they're going to be great business partners or customers, then we know if somebody's not willing to get launched and goal set and start working on a weekly paycheck within 48 hours of joining you guys, they are not a business partner. You would not invest in a storefront business for $100,000 and then go into business with somebody else in that partnership if that person didn't call you back, didn't show up, didn't do the things. You wouldn't do it if it was that investment. So you're deciding, because this is less of an investment, that you can work with people less. That's actually the craziest thing I've ever heard, because you have less of investment in, but you have a much higher profit. See, if I invest $100,000 in a storefront business, I can expect to recoup my costs 2 to 5 years out. Here, I can recoup my costs my very first week by learning simple skills that duplicate consistently over time. All you have to do is keep doing the same thing. But it's what you're doing and what you're saying that is actually causing some of the issues in your business. The number one issue I have seen lately, number one, and I just brought on a huge new group. The girl went elite in 3 days. It's absolutely crazy what they're doing. She's about to go bronze. It's absolutely nuts. The number one thing they're doing is they're talking about a business, a company, a comp plan, or a product. Anyone on here ever marry a thing? Last time I checked, we all marry people. Anyone go into business with a thing? Last time I checked, we go into business with people. So if you want business partners, you must be talking about the people that are teaching you the simple systems that duplicate consistently over time. And those mentors that are showing you those skills so you can master them and help other people master them and create weekly paychecks. That's really all you should be saying. From there, introducing to the opportunity call, whoever that is that night, by edifying that person. The more weekly paychecks you produce in your team, that is a direct result of you showing up and helping people learn those skills. The more weekly paychecks you create in your team, and they don't have to be huge checks, you guys, the more belief you create, the more momentum you will have, and the more people will trust you. This is a long-term business. When you partner with somebody in business, it is your job to be in business with them. You link arms with them. You're in business with them for 90 days to teach them those skills so that they can duplicate. You cannot expect to do it one time with them and them to know. When you're like, I told somebody to send those messages and then they didn't, 99% of the time they didn't do it because they didn't know how. And they didn't know how because you didn't teach them. And if you taught them, but they still didn't feel skilled enough to do it, they were too scared to do it. When they don't take action, it's because of fear. They trusted you to take them through the fear until they were on the other side of fear, a little uncomfortable, but then empowered them to step into their leadership. This is the same thing with presenting. It's the same thing with launching. We want to be doing it with them We're helping them in those messages. We're presenting with them. We're letting them do the testimonies. Then we're helping them work through a couple slides at a time until they feel confident and they can do that, and expanding their slides so that they can grow in that. You are with them each step of the way, but 99% of you are expecting people to read your mind or figure it out on their own, and they're quitting because of it. Because they trusted you to take them where they wanted to grow to, and you expected them to do it instead. It doesn't work that way. When Fran partnered with me, when Fran came on, it was literally, I was side by side with her until finally I was on a call with her and I said, you just said every word I say, you don't need me anymore. And I pushed her out of the nest. But I was there with her every step of the way in case she failed, in case she fell down, in case she needed me to jump in. And then when I knew she didn't need me to jump in anymore, I was good. We're with you for a season. That's what you commit to a business partner. When you're working in a pod, it's exactly the same, you guys. It's your business. So if I recruit a leader, like where I'm working now, their whole group, their whole team, I'm working with all of them. I'm working with their new people. I'm getting their people trained. I'm working with their new leader under there and getting their people trained. Because if I bring on a leader, my next goal is to find a leader and taproot within their organization to find somebody else greater than them to solidify that leg. The more leaders you help find. See, a brand new person doesn't know how to taproot, but when you've been here, you do. Who do you know that I need to know? And when you have to teach them how to introduce. So if I'm talking to somebody and my initial reach out is about product, comp plan, or company, that's going to be a customer. And here's why. If you walked into a store to buy hemp oil because you had anxiety, and you walked in, you're like, hey, I'm struggling with anxiety, I want hemp oil. And the person's like, oh my gosh, you need to meet my owner. My owner is going to help you. They're going to help you open a franchise. And you're like, whoa. I just had anxiety. I don't want that. I just wanted hemp oil. I'm out. And they leave. That's what so many of you guys are doing when people come to you for product and you put them in a three-way message. My personal opinion, unless somebody's brand new and really doesn't know the products yet, and they should within a few days, just watching a couple simple, three-way messages and product videos to understand, nobody should go into a three-way message for product. Because you're not doctors, you can't diagnose, you can't treat. So there's nothing you can recommend that they can't read on an info sheet or make an educated decision based on their own health. So if someone walked in my store for hemp oil, I'm going to point them in the direction, hey, these are our choices. These work great for that. You choose. Just like, hey, I have anxiety. Someone comes to you. Yeah, you have relief spray. You can use hemp oil. You can use Q-Core. We can help with your gut, with digest. You can give them options. These things work great together, but you choose. Great. You're going to be a great and awesome customer. Now I have CV. I just help my new person win and they get CV. Now, if I walk into a hemp store because I'm looking at opening a hemp store at a city down the street or a city close by, and I walk in and I go to the girl working at the desk and I was like, hey, I really like what you guys are doing here. It looks like you got a lot of people coming through here. I'm interested in opening a franchise in the city close by. She's going to say, hey, let me introduce you to my owner. They'll be able to sit down with you and see how we can expand over there. Do you see the difference in the conversation? This is exactly the same in Q Sciences, you guys. We want to be bridging to the people that are going to help us open our businesses, which means the only thing you're talking about, if you're building a business within Q Sciences, you can sell products to your blue in the face and rank up in CV. I am happy for you. But if you want to build a team, hey, you know what? I see what you're doing, and I know that you've been in this industry a long time. You're spinning your wheels, and you're still trying to get a paycheck. I get it, because I was there before. I actually was looking for a mentor to teach me the skills in order to grow a solid foundation for a business so I could have long-term success and help people get paid weekly, and I found her. She's talking tonight at 8. I bet, because she's my personal mentor, if I ask if you could be on there, a fly on the wall on her Zoom, she would let me. Can I count on you to show up? I didn't talk about Q Sciences. I didn't talk about a product. I didn't talk about a comp plan. I talked about how she's teaching me to help people get weekly checks, and it's working. And so many people are getting paid weekly. People want to know who you know, not what you know. And so you don't even have to give a laundry list. I didn't give a laundry list of Katie. I just said, I found a mentor who's teaching me the simple skills that are duplicating and helping people get weekly checks. You have to meet her. You guys, what's happening in the world right now, people are getting laid off faster than they're even getting jobs. It's really crazy what's already starting, and we know what that means, okay? If you don't know what that means, you need to go back to 2008 and take a good look at what happened. We know what's happening with interest rates. We know what's happening with inflation. People need secondary streams of income. They don't need products. I'm just telling you that. They may need products for anxiety or other things to help them stay calm. Cool. Guess what? That goes back to my why. My why is I'm showing up and the highest version of myself, helping people, allowing them to show up in the highest version of themselves. I happen to have incredible mentors that are teaching me the skills to take me there, and I have really great products that are demonstrable and shipped to 28 countries. That's the and. But I am showing up in that for other people, giving them the vehicle to get there. So you need to know your why, and that's what you're talking about, bridging to the thing. But if you're talking about a what, nobody goes into partnership with a what ever. And it's why some of you are not having success in building the deep, foundational, strong businesses you want, and why so many of you have tons of customers, and from those customers are still not rolling them into ambassadors, because you're not talking to them about the people that could teach them the skills to grow a foundational business consistently over time. I want you to be aware that I say consistently over time, because I didn't say overnight. Because no long-term success happens overnight. So when we say those things in the very beginning, number one, they want to know who you know. Number two, you're actually being practical and realistic. And number three, they're a lot more open to hearing things when they don't feel sold to, they're being introduced to. Does this make sense to everybody? When somebody then partners with you, you're then doing the same thing in their onboarding. You're helping them, teaching them these skills in order to introduce and edify leaders who they need to know to teach them the skills. Look, I did not come to Q Sciences. I could have come for a product. I would have been a customer. I did not come here for a business if it wasn't for the mentorships and the systems where I could see people. I had hoped that people could win. When I saw that that system was there, when I saw that I could teach people A, B, C, D, and E, and if they did it, they would have the result, I knew that that was going to be what was going to take me where I needed to go. You don't have to be the person that's going to take them to $1 million. You're the person that bridges them to the person. A leader wants to know proximity to the most leaders. Therefore, you introduce and edify to whoever is doing that call. That person could be brand new. I highly recommend you have your newest builders, your newest pros, your newest executives doing the testimony, how they just got paid They just got a weekly check doing simple systems things daily, consistently. And it may have been out of their comfort zone, but their growth comes there. And they weren't alone in it. They had someone by their side. Be the person by their side. Every single one of you on this call, whether you're new or old, can be the person by someone's side as they're growing through the things, because you all are too. So you can relate. If you're brand new, you can literally say, hey, let's do it together. I'm learning these skills too. Katie's teaching me, whoever your mentor is, they're teaching me these skills. Let's do it together. So at least when we fall down, we can pick each other up so we don't feel as bad together. Just be real. But you have to commit to your newest person that you're going to be there. You're going to make sure their auto ship is on. You're going to work with them through Builder Pro Executive by helping them get Builder and get a couple customers. And when you help their people get Builder and get a couple customers, they're now executive just by helping people where they're at. And the thing is, those customers can have their own experience. And when they're ready to get a weekly check, we too can meet them where they're at and they feel comfortable. That's the best part of it. You can rank in CV, love your people where they're at. And when they're ready to have a different experience, they've had their customer experience, they love their products, they're ready to talk about those things and maybe get some customers of their own, or maybe even build a weekly check with other business partners, then they can upgrade. And it's really important. We can meet people where they're at, we can love them. But when we teach people to get Builder OV and Builder CV, that right there is 1,500 volume. If I bring on one person and I help them get their two people, Builder OV, Builder CV, that's 750, that's 1,500 volume underneath them, and they're executive and they met their people where they were at. It's not an overwhelming thing to just do the simple skills. Okay. And then we want to work with their new people. Me, I didn't say my new people work with their new people. I work with their new people and their people. So I will never, ever, 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 ever get on a call with a person's leader and not them, ever. I will never get on a call with a new person and not training somebody, ever. So you must commit. If you're building a team, you must commit to be on the calls with your new person. So you too are learning those skills. And when your new person brings somebody on, you already communicated to them, hey, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be teaching you each step along the way. And I'm going to be here teaching your new person each step along the way. But you must be on so that you can learn those skills, because 2, 3, 4 calls in, I'm going to turn it over to you. You're going to start. Yes, I'll be here and I'll pick up the pieces when you need it, but you're going to start. So make sure you're on, make sure you're present, make sure you're taking notes. See, we want to empower people to be business owners. And the only way we can empower people is let them fail, but we don't want to let them fail flat on their face. We want to let them fail just a little bit, give them a little space, because if you give them a little space, most likely they won't fail at all, because you're there to support them. And if they do, you don't even mention the failure. You just step right in and you help them. They know what they need to grow in. And then the next time you're like, okay, this is where we had a little hiccup. Do you need any support there? We're good. All right. Next time you're on. So we really want to make sure that we're committing to our new person. We're committing to our new person for 90 days. Wherever you're building, you're not just building with your people, you're building with the group for 90 days. You're creating the team. You're creating the momentum. You're working with the new people. Everybody that goes in the bottom, everybody's working together, and you're working with every new person in your organization to make sure they get to executive, so that then your new start to grow, your team starts to grow, and you guys no longer are going backwards because you're not bringing people on and just dropping. If you're going to do that, you guys just be customers. Just bring on customers. Seriously, if you're not going to commit to driving somebody's business and working with them side by side as a partnership along the way, just please bring on customers, because it is a responsibility. And if you don't show up in your responsibility, that person's going to turn off their auto ship. They're never going to order again. They're going to ghost you, and you lose the order and the person. And it takes way more effort to bring somebody into this business than to keep them. You need to invest in your people. When you bring on customers, you need to invest in customer care. You need to check on them. You need to see how they're doing. If they're loving something and having a really great testimony, you can ask, you're having a really great testimony. You're having a really good experience. Did you know that you could create weekly paychecks? And I have a mentor that teaches how to do that. Would you like to meet her? Or she's talking tonight at 8 o'clock. Do you want to jump on and be a fly on the wall and hear from her yourself? Okay. So really take responsibility as a business owner. No one's going to hold your pants up for you anymore. If you want to create the greater paycheck, then you need to help people get those weekly paychecks right away to Builder, and automatically yours is going to grow because it's your responsibility to help people get paid. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, Katie. I hope that's good. I do have to jump off. I probably have people blowing up my phone that I haven't started my other Zoom yet. So
no, that was absolutely perfect. Tara, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're so busy and have all these amazing people coming on. So thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
And
guys.
we'll have you again on next time. But okay, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. That was huge. I hope that made sense to everybody because it made total sense to me, and it was such a good refresher. And some things that I learned too. I mean, when she was asking, or when she was saying about not putting people in a three-way chat if they're just customers. And I 100% agree with that. But I will also say too, like if you're having a hard time closing those people, or if they might need, to hear somebody else's story, that's when I recommend. If it is just customers, I will say, so like for instance, today she's on right now, she's new, but Sarah Noble, she has a friend and she came to her sponsor Dana and I and said, hey, I have a friend, she's struggling with X, Y, and Z. I've recommended all this stuff to her. She's kind of a little like, gun shy about it. And I said, well, that's one of the main reasons that I started on these products, and these products helped me very quickly with that specific issue. I'd love for you to introduce her to me and I can share my story. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just sharing my story of what these products have done for me and telling her what I started with. And then she can, it's not like I'm trying to do a hard close or I'm trying to sway her to the business side. It's just merely sharing my story to where maybe she can relate as well. So, okay. So what we're going to do now is, because I don't want to take any more time, but I am going to turn it over to Becky. Becky, I am going to make you a co-host. But for the next 30 minutes, if you are able to and you have time, our team training is over with. But we are going to do a power half hour. We are doing this after every Tuesday night call now, just to help people get into action and to know like what you should be doing daily. And it can literally be done in 30 minutes. I like to do mine in an hour. But you can get a lot done in 30 minutes as well. So Becky is going to lead us tonight in that. Stop recording.